And they start bringing more units out. For some reason, they walk right by the stuff that I have back by the mineral line and go straight for the front entrance here, which allows me to take out the robotics facility before they can get their base prison warped in. Finishing off a few more units here. You can see these zealots get slowed down an awful lot by those marauder concussion grenades. And all these units are getting pretty weak here for me, but still got enough on them to do some damage. I go for the Nexus, but don't get it quite in time. These zealots come over and clean it up before I get a chance to take it all the way down. Stim Pack, as you can see, is very, very useful this early in the game, especially if you've got Marauders against these zealots. They just fire so much quicker, and that just slows that many more zealots down and gets them taken out quicker. They really are useful. Okay, and it looks like there is a DT over here. I did not notice that when we were in game. I'm not sure how long they actually had that for. And wow, I didn't notice that either. Apparently I had a stray Marauder running around over here doing some work. Anyways, coming back to the base, since we've gone and done our first attack, I came back and started teching a little bit. I'm still cranking out a few units. We do have a factory here already, so this is allowing me to get a starport. Initially what I do is get the attachment so I can start researching Cloak for my Banshees, and then I get a medevac in there to help, because when you're using a lot of stim pack on the infantry, of course you need to heal them. Otherwise, you know, what happens basically is what you saw just a minute ago when I was attacking the red player's base. They sent a few zealots at me, and the Marauders, I had a decent sized force, but I had very little health because I'd used stim a few times, so of course medevacs are important to have. The nice thing about medevacs too is they are a much quicker healing unit than the medics were in the original Starcraft, and they fly overhead, so you don't have to worry about your medics getting caught up behind your units or anything. It's just super handy to have at least one of those. Depending on the size of your army, if you've got a lot of infantry, you may want to have a couple. And as you can see here too, my teammate is starting to go a little bit of a mech marine combo here. We've got a Thor and a tank out, and he actually cranks out a couple more Thors before we actually go and attack again. And he's of course expanded up here to his natural, taking a little bit more minerals. I've opted to stick with the tech for right now. I do have a Raven coming out because I noticed the DT tech, and although, like I mentioned, I didn't actually see the DT, it never hurts to have detection, just in case, you know. Anyways, looking back at the Protoss players' bases, they've got their robotics facility back up, trying to put up some photon cannons. That initial attack that we did a lot of damage, though. We pretty much crippled their army, took out a lot of units, and then also got a good amount of lurkers, and did some damage to their tech tree as well. Now, they're going pretty stalker heavy right now. I don't see any more DTs coming out on the map, which kind of surprises me. And it looks like we're getting ready to hit again. And actually, blue is expanding down here. I didn't realize that they did this in the game. They left before we actually had a chance to see that. Pretty ballsy move, expanding at the high-yield minerals outside of your enemy's base. But, hey, I guess to each their own, right? Different strokes for different folks. That was cheesy. Anyways, here they come and attack. Oh, there's the DTs. Okay, so my army just decimated them so quickly that it didn't matter that they had them. Ha ha ha. Anyways, we've got a couple Thors here and a tank with some Marines. And of course, my Raven, my sweet Hellions, and Marauders and Marines. We're getting ready to move out. I'm going to go do some work. Apparently, I'm sleeping at the wheel because he's halfway across the map and I'm still sitting in my base with my thumb up my butt. But here comes the Banshees. I've got one out already, getting a couple more. I end up sending them down, but I don't really think they do anything before the game ends because we basically come down here and steamroll them before they get a chance to do anything. They've got a handful of, stalkers here, but for whatever reason, red just isn't really doing a whole lot. I guess he's got a handful of stalkers, and then blue's got a handful of stalkers and zealots. Unfortunately for them, though, Marauders are great counters for both stalkers and zealots, which I have a decent size of Marauders. And then, of course, the Thor is just going to soak up a lot of damage. So, anyways, we basically roll up in here and just completely decimate their army. We'll watch it just for funsies, but yeah, I don't know what my Raven's doing there. He's just running off doing his own thing. Almost gets taken out by the photon cannons here. Just trying to keep an eye out for DTs. Of course, we already killed them earlier, so there was no need to do so. And these stalkers just get roasted. And yeah, we're basically just going to roll in here, wipe out the rest of the game. So basically, that's the build order. Just to give you a quick look at the base here again. Threw down the initial barracks and supply depot, and then got the refinery going around 12 or 13. and then threw down another barracks and get the tech lab as quickly as possible. And then once you start cranking out these Marauders and Marines, you're going to want to get the stim pack as quickly as you can too, because that's definitely going to give you an edge early on. And here comes my awesome, sorry, not Reapers, what are these things called? Banshees. My awesome Banshees in the medevac, which don't get to do anything because the game's already over. So, bye-bye Tech Tree, bye-bye Blue, bye-bye Red. And there's the GG. So, feel free to add me to your subscriptions. I've only got this one video up now, but I will be getting as many videos up as I can. Hopefully more build orders and tutorials, but also I'm going to start trying to find good replays of games so that I can get some replays for some really competitive games out there. This game was a bit of a wash, but I did want to show off the build order that I had blogged about earlier. So anyways, thank you again for watching. My name is Akaya, and hopefully I will see you guys around.